Okay, I'm ready.
I'm pleased to be here to represent the national NAACP, but our organizational structure supports autonomy of the local units. And so we give deference to our state conference leadership with Attorney Francis Johnson and our local leadership here in Atlanta with President Richard Rose. And so those issues that are important to the citizenry of Atlanta and then broadly Georgia, we look to them for their direction as how the national office can support their efforts on local initiatives. And so with respect to regentrification and eminent domain and housing for seniors and low-income families, the NAACP has a board housing committee, but all politics are local, and so we want to make sure that we touch the people on the ground to respond specifically to their issues. And so I would defer to the leadership here in Atlanta and then also to Georgia about what we're doing to ensure that every American has the opportunity to have affordable housing, one that is in an area that is safe communities, that their communities can thrive.
So let's understand how these things start, and that is redlining of communities of color. No money for renovation, no money for new housing in certain areas, and so those areas fall into decay. They have been traditionally close to town, not in the suburbs and not directly downtown, but close to town. So now, in the advent of transportation and higher cost of transportation, close to town becomes more and more valuable. And that's where we are. In Atlanta, the largest project Atlanta's ever undertaken is the Beltline. And so they're using eminent domain and other measures to move seniors, particularly senior citizens out, and people of color where they have been denying them access to credit. And so the houses in decay, and now they're being bought up and move people out. What the Atlanta branch is doing is demanding accountability, and if they can invest billions of dollars into a new dome stadium when nothing's wrong with the one they played in yesterday, and $142.5 million in the Hawk Stadium, who probably not worth $1 million the way they play, they can make some set-asides for affordable housing for senior citizens and other people of color. Because after all, people need access to downtown for jobs. And so what we're seeing a continuation in an area in Atlanta called the 4th Ward. Now they're building $650,000 houses. And when I came to Atlanta, that was the home of Howard High School, which was the second black school to open in Atlanta. So we know who live there now. But all of that is changing now. And so what we have to do is demand. Without advocacy, we can sit around and cry about it all night. But if we don't stand up and ask for and demand accountability, then nothing else would happen. We will continue to do that. We will continue to advocate on behalf of the community.
These problems, Francis Johnson, State President of the Georgia NAACP, these problems are not particular to Atlanta. They are problems that we see in all of our urban core. We see them in Savannah, Georgia's first city, Augusta, Macon, Albany, Columbus. We see them across the board. And there are a few solutions that the NAACP puts forward as a part of our national platform. And again, I think to echo the chairman's statement earlier, we are strongest because we have a national policy which sets our direction across the nation that is implemented through our state conferences and our local units like the Atlanta branch. And some of those policies deal with the sort of fair share initiatives that President Rose talked about. But they also are about, and the NAACP is strongest when we use our 3 aims. Our aims are awareness, and this is what this program is helping to do, raise awareness about the problem. When we focus on direct action, I think President Rose has talked about lobbying directly to the City Council and others to take a particular stance on a policy, but also litigation, and that's particularly my expertise. We're going to hold the City of Atlanta accountable for the agreements it made years ago when it took federal monies to build the interstates that broke up our communities, monies it took through redevelopment initiatives during the Clinton administration that have never ever been fully realized. We're going to hold them accountable. Those are legal obligations that we can go and continue to press some advantage, not just here in Atlanta, but across the state where our government took money to do some things for our communities and have failed to do it. We will additionally call forth resources to examine vehicles that are still in place, where communities can come together, preserve the quality, historic quality of that community, and through legal ways that help to preserve the character and also the affordability of those communities for the citizens who made it home for so long.
And on that note, I'll say thank you.